Uh, in last lecture we have finished radiation chapter. Next chapter we are going to start boiling and condensation, right? Boiling and condensation. In this, first of all, we have to differentiate what is mean by evaporation and boiling, right? What is evaporation occurs at suppose evaporation occurs in on the surface of the sea, right? But the water, that water is not boiling water. So in boiling and evaporation, vapors are created, but the forms are different, right? Evaporation occurs at liquid vapor interface when the vapor pressure is less than the saturation pressure of the liquid at given temperature. So, and boiling occurs at the solid liquid interface when liquid is brought in contact with surface maintained at a temperature sufficient above than the saturation of the liquid, right? Then next, classification of boiling. First of all, pool boiling, and second, flow boiling, right? What is pool boiling? Suppose boiling is called pool boiling in the absence of bulk of fluid, right? It is called as pool boiling. What is called as flow boiling? When boiling is called flow boiling in the presence of bulk of fluid, right? When the flow of fluid takes place or boiling fluid takes place, then it is called as flow boiling. And when the in a steady form, then it is called as pool boiling. For example, let us, any motion of the fluid is due to natural convection currents and the motion of the bubbles under the influence of buoyancy, right? When like this example, this is example for this, right? So this is due to buoyancy, and in flow boiling the fluid is forced to move in a heated pipe, right? Heated pipe over a surface by external means of pump, right? That is, it is flow boiling and pool boiling, right? Next, subcooled boiling and saturated boiling, right? Subcooled boiling, when the temperature of the main body of liquid is below saturation temperature, right? Saturation temperature is suppose 100, right? Then it is below 100 degrees Celsius, then it is called as subcooled boiling. And saturated boiling, when the temperature of liquid is equal to saturation temperature, right? Then it is called as saturation boiling, right? So, right, this is called as subcooled boiling and saturated boiling. Next, I'll share something with you. There are 3 questions from this chapter. We'll ask repeatedly or again and again. First is what is pool boiling? We have to draw this curve in the pool boiling, right? Or modes of pool boiling. Next, what is film wise condensation? What is drop wise condensation? And what is the difference between film wise and drop wise condensation? These are the main questions which are which were asked again and again, right? Here, suppose liquid at 0 degree Celsius, right? Then boiling takes different form depending upon the dT excess is equals to Ts minus T saturation, right? So this is natural convection boiling, this is nuclear boiling, this is transition boiling, and this is film boiling. These are the regimes or part of boiling, right? Or modes of boiling, pool boiling, modes of pool boiling. First, A is called natural convection, second nuclear boiling, transition boiling, and film boiling, right? In the first natural convection, right? So natural convection point A and the boiling curves here up to this is natural convection from 1 to point A. This is a natural convection, right? Next, bubbles do not form on the heating surface until the liquid is heated few degree above the saturation temperature, about 2 to 6 degree for water, right? Bubbles are not formed, right? At suppose water comes at 100 degrees Celsius and it boils, but bubbles are not formed, then it is called as natural convection. The liquid is slightly superheated in this case, right? The fluid motion in this mode of boiling is governed by the natural convection. Next, the heat transfer from the heating surface to the fluid by the natural convection. Next, this is point A to point B, right? And up to point C, this is called as nucleate boiling, right? So the bubbles are formed at an increasing rate at an increasing number of nucleation site as we move along the boiling curve towards point C. Like this is I am going to show you. Bubbles collapse in the liquid and bubbles rise to free surface. First in the nuclear boiling, bubbles are formed but it collapses in the liquid, and in the next part of this nuclear boiling, bubble rise to free surfaces. Region A to B is isolated bubble. This is isolated bubble, and B to C is numerous continuous column of in a liquid vapor. Next part of this is nuclear boiling. We have to I'll write here. See here. In a region A, B, the stirring and agitation caused by the entertainment of a liquid to the heater surface is primarily responsible for the increased heat transfer coefficient, right? Next, region A to B, a large heat flux obtainable in this region are caused by the combined effect of the liquid entertainment and evaporation, right? And after B, the heat flux increases a lower rate with increasing dt excess and reaches a maximum point C. The heat flux at this point is called as critical heat flux, and it is prime engineering importance. Very important is critical heat flux, that is after point B, the heat flux increases at a lower rate with increasing dt, right? Next, transition boiling. When dt excess is increased past point C, then flux decreases. This is transition boiling here, transition boiling, right? dt excess, okay, right? This is because a large fraction of heat transfer heater surface is covered by vapor film, right? And due to this vapor film which acts as a insulation, right? In the transition boiling regime, both nucleate and film boiling partly occur. Next, film boiling. This is last part of this boiling, right? Beyond point D, the heater surface is completely covered by continuous stable vapor film, right? Point D, where the heat flux reaches minimum, is called as Lindenfrost point, right? The presence of a vapor film between the heater surface and the liquid is responsible for the low heat transfer rates in the film boiling region. Next, the heat transfer rate increases excess temperature due to radiation to the liquid, right? Next, we have to discuss burnout phenomena, where burnout phenomena takes place at point Q max between this sudden drop takes place of, right. So a typical boiling process does not follow the boiling curve beyond point C. When the power applied to the heated surface exceeded the value at point C is slightly the surface temperature increase suddenly to point E. When the power is reduced gradually starting from point E, the cooling curve follows a sudden drop in excess temperature point D. Next, in this we have to find out the critical heat flux, right. So the maximum critical heat flux in the nucleate pool boiling was determined theoretically SS Kutledze in Russia in 1948 and N. Zubair in United States in 1958, right. So Q max is equals to CHFG rho V into bracket sigma G rho 1 minus rho V. This is the formula for, right. Critical heat flux is independent of the fluid heating surface combined as well as the viscosity, thermal conductivity and the specific heat of the liquid. The CHF, that means critical heat flux, increases with pressure to about 1/3 of the critical pressure and starts to decrease, becomes 0 at a critical pressure. Then the critical heat flux is proportional to HFG and large maximum heat fluxes can be obtained using fluids with a large enthalpy of vaporization such as water, right. So this is the all about the boiling, right. So next we have to discuss condensation. In the condensation occurs when the temperature of a vapor is reduced below its saturation temperature, right. Only condensation on the solid surface is considered in this chapter, right. Two forms of condensation, first film-wise condensation, second drop-wise condensation. That is, you have observed in the winter session there is drops on the our surface, right, vehicle surface, etc. So there are two forms, that is film-wise condensation, drop-wise condensation. What is difference? The condensate wets the surface and forms a liquid film. It is called as film. This is liquid film, right. Totally the surface is blanketed by liquid film which reserve the resistance to the heat transfer. And drop-wise condensation, the vapor bubbles forms droplets on the surface. The droplets slide down when they reach at a certain size. No liquid form is to resist the heat transfer. As a result, heat transfer rate are more than 10 times larger than with the film-wise condensation, right. This is film-wise condensation, film condensation in a vertical plate, right. A liquid starts forming at the top of the plate and flows downward under the influence of gravity. This is top of plate and this is the liquid film-wise condensation, right. Here this is D. D is increases in the flow of x direction, right. This is x direction. D thickness of this film is increases. Heat in the amount of HFG is released due to condensation and is transferred through the film to the plate surface. Next, Ts must be below the saturation temperature or condensation. Next, the temperature of the condensate is Tsat at the interface and decreases gradually to Ts at wall, right. This is T saturation temperature and this is decreases at the wall, right. This is at the wall here. Next, this is vertical plate aware flow regimes, flow types, right? The dimension, this is a laminar flow at the top, 0 to R is equals to this is laminar wavy, and this is last one is turbulent flow, right? So heat transfer correlation for the film condensation. So assumptions are made here. Both plate and the vapor are maintained at a constant temperature of the Ts and Tsat, right, respectively. The temperature across the liquid film varies here. Here the diagram, this is x direction, this is T saturation temperature, right. Heat transfer across the liquid film is by pure conduction. Like the velocity of vapor is low, so it exists no drag on condensate, right. So hydrodynamics, this is a formula, Newton's second law, weight is equals to viscous force plus buoyancy force, right, rho 1 g delta, there is no need if, right, this is new, only theoretical portion. If you have asked any numerical type, then it will ask on this formula only, right, that is critical flux, CHE, this formula, right. So we have finished this chapter. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me on a phone. Thank you very much.